Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sally Stampers. Thank you for joining me today. How cute is this little project? I got the simple idea from Pinterest but couldn't quite make it the same, if you like, so I thought, right, well, let's see what I have got and try and make it with what I've got. It simply houses a note sachet, so I think that's super cute. Just literally slides in there between his hat, and it actually starts off as a treat bag, if you can see. So mini treat bag thinlets, simply cut out with thick whisper white and then decorated. I guess you could probably do this for a Santa or anything really, but I just thought this was so cute and I was really pleased with how it turned out. So as always, let me show you how I made him. So as I said, it starts off as a mini treat bag. So I've already cut my pieces out just to save a little bit of time, and as I said, this is thick whisper white, and I've got one of the slim pieces and one of the wider. I then need to grab my bone folder and my tear and tape, and as you would with any of the others, and to be honest, this actually is the first time I've actually made this with card. Usually I make these treat bags up with DSP because it's so pretty. So it was quite a challenge and quite interesting to make this up just with cardstock. As I say, I've not done it before. So all the products I've used, as always, are current products that are available to be purchased from the annual and or spring, sorry, not spring, jumping ahead of myself, the autumn winter Christmas catalogue, and obviously all the directions will be on my blog, so you can just hop on over to there if you want to find out how I made it. So I'm just using tear and tape again because this is slightly stronger, and I do find it easier just to literally put this on straight line, straight down the centre. I also want some on the inside of the bottom flap here. And like I said, these are actually quite fun to make, and I thought these would be great for somebody who has little children or maybe has grandchildren or relatives or whoever come in to stop over. Maybe putting one of those out for breakfast and giving it them for their breakfast, so they can have some porridge. I think it's lovely. So just so I can work out, nearly put that one upside down, just so as I can work out where I need to put my other bit of tear and tape, I'm just going to have a look here. So it needs to go on the inside of this piece. So I'm just going to pop, and I do apologise if it's a bit dark today. It's quite a gloomy, overcast day, and it's unfortunately not the brightest, but then we are in November, so I don't suppose I can expect bright sunshine just yet, can I? So once we've added our tear and tape, we'll just remove the backing off this one, and then I just sort of line it up and stick it on, and just use my bone folder just to make sure that it's all stuck on well. And then this piece comes off, which I just fold over. Didn't do that very straight, did I, look? And then the final one across the bottom. And if, like me, you've done this a bit wonky, it might be harder to fold up because of you having that extra bit of card. So once you've got it on, give it a good press. Thankfully that's on the back, so it doesn't affect the front. So once you've got your treat bag made up, as I say, it is obviously thick cardstock, so it is quite sturdy. You just need to decorate his little face. So I started off with the mouth, and I simply did this just with freehand, a basic black marker, and I just simply drew the mouth. Now, if you're not very good at this sort of thing, I'm guessing you can find something on the internet. You see this one, do you know, I knew when I started, I thought, you know what, this one won't be as good as that one, but I just draw a thin line to start with, and then I just use the thicker end, the brush end, just to give it that final touch and just colour it in. And then if there's any bits that you're not happy with, you can always alter it a little bit more. Or like I said, I think you can buy stickers nowadays with mouths on and things, so you could always do that. That's not very good, but you get the idea. So once I've done that, I then want to put his nose on. And I've just got a piece of red, real red. I wanted to say Whisper Red then. How ridiculous is that? A piece of real red and my 1-inch circle punch. And that's literally it. And then I actually used the Stampin' Chalk marker just to give that light effect, if you like. Now I did find that if you overuse this, it will start to pull away at the card. I don't know if you can see on there, but it's just starting to sort of affect the nib. So I just give it a bit of a wipe and take any excess off. So that's my nose, and I simply stuck him on with some snail. And obviously just make sure if you are adding these little white bits that you get them all in the same place, otherwise it won't look quite right. So there's his nose. Next is his eyes, and again I've just got some, I mean this is thick, you don't have to use thick, this is just what I've got left over. And again with my 1-inch, I'm just punching 2 white circles, and then with my 1/2-inch, as you can see, I'm just going to use some scrap black, and I just want a couple of those, just enough space left on that piece. Wonderful. So again with this, I'm just literally, you could use a glue dot. I do find glue dots sit high, which I don't want, so I'm literally just using my snail to pop these on. And like I said, this is really quick and easy. It's just fiddly, I suppose. So there are my eyes. I've got some snail stuck to that. There we go. So again, bringing in the chalk marker, I'm just adding a couple of little white marks. And obviously you can see as it dries it becomes brighter anyway. And then what I actually did with both the snowman and the eyes is I just used my Smokey Slate and I just sponged around the edges, because it looked very, very stark if you just stuck him on without sponging. So I just used Smokey Slate just to sponge around the eyes, and then I also used it to sponge around the edge of Mr. Snowman as well. I'm going to say it doesn't take a lot, you just bung it on, as it were. And obviously you can get these sponges as well from Stampin' Up. And I will show you in a moment how I've created my little sponge here, because I don't use a whole circle sponge because that would be a waste. Okay, so that's him done, and I basically cut them into quarters. So I cut it in half and then half again, and then I simply use a punch. I don't know, this may be, I don't know, 1 and, let me have a quick look at my circle punches, maybe 1 3/4 circle of the card that is going to be the sponge. So obviously Smokey Slate has a Smokey Slate piece of cardstock. I've also written it on. I mean, nowadays I'm more aware of what colour's which. I know that that's Smokey Slate. I know that that's basic grey. I could pick one out and say this is, because I know the colours now. But when you're first starting and you can't quite remember all the names, it's helpful. And then I just use a stapler. So I just pinch it like that and use the stapler. And then I've got something to hold on to that's not going to get all messy. And obviously it works well for me. So that's my Smokey Slate bit done. So my eyes are also done, so I'm just going to stick snail on there and pop the eyes on. And he's already looking very much like, he's got wonky eyes, I think, this chap. Never mind. He's already starting to look like a snowman and have character. So those rosy cheeks are fabulous new Stampin' Blends. And all I simply did was I just did a circle of the light pink pirouette, get plenty of that ink down. I then used my dark just to add a circle in the centre, and then I went back over doing circular motions around the edge of that circle with the light again. And then I just did the same this side. So putting plenty of the light down, then a little circle of the dark, and then over the top circular motions with the light. How fabulous does that look? So that's that bit done. So all that's left is his hat. Now again, this was something that I just did by eye. There was no way I was trying to cut, and oh, it was just a nightmare. So I got some basic grey, and this is 5 inches in length. So, and I think it was an inch thick. Yes, so an inch thick, 5 inches in length, and then I just literally cut a bit of a wavy line, rounded off the edges again just with the scissors, just rounded off the edges, and I used that for the peak. And before I stuck it down, it doesn't very show up very well actually on this one, but I did actually sponge, I suppose you can see it a little bit, I did sponge the edges with the basic grey ink. I think probably with this one you'd need to do quite a few layers to get it to show up, because obviously it hasn't stayed very bright on that one. Don't know why. So just again go all the way round, just sponging the peak of the hat. Okay, so that's that bit done, and then I simply stuck it to the front. Now I didn't make a mistake, you can probably see on here, look, my snail went too far to the edges, so make sure when you stick it that you don't go too close to the edge. So I'm not going to go too close to the edge this time, and then I just simply made sure that I had an equal distance either end and that it just covered the top of the points there. And excuse me while my head gets in the way as I can't quite see. If, like me, when I did this one, you do it and some of the points are showing, you can just go in with some scissors and just trim them off. No glue this time. Did well. So that's his peak, and then for the top of his hat, this just sits on the back part there so that you've got somewhere to put your oaks in. So this one is 3 3/4 by 2.5, and I again just simply cut some random shape. And to be honest, once I did it for this one, I just got on a piece of card and I just traced it so that I'd get the same shape. Certainly if you've got more than one child that you're making these for, as I know, you have to make sure they're all the same, because if one's slightly different, you're going to have World War III at breakfast table, and nobody wants that. So try and make sure that once you've done one, you maybe put this template somewhere that you'll know you can get to easily, or remember where you've put it, just so that when it comes to it, if you need to make more, you can do. And I guess these would probably be quite good for craft fairs as well, because people like to, some people think, oh, I'm not creative enough, I couldn't make that. As you've seen, it is relatively simple. You've just got to have the right tools, I guess, which thankfully Stampin' Up provide us with. So just a little bit of snail now across that bottom bit there. And then, as I said, this literally just tucks in just inside, or just at the back rather, on those zigzags there. And there he is, he's made. Now these are just slightly bigger than your mini treat bag, so all I did was I just made sure the oats were at the bottom and folded that bit in. Oh, excuse me, I had a sneeze. And then I just did the same the other side, so I just folded the edges in. And so once you've got those two sides folded up, it will fit in, she says. Yeah, fit in just fine. There we go, once you've got it started. And so there they are, my little oat snowmen porridge oat holders. How cute are they? Hope you enjoyed my project, and I hope that you get to make some soon. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!